Hello students, welcome to the lecture on performance appraisal, and after the lecture we will be able to learn the following objectives. Discuss the definition and the objectives of performance appraisal, define the performance planning, explain the methods of performance appraisal, describe the process of performance appraisal. Let's start with a brief introduction to performance appraisal. Performance appraisals of employees are necessary to understand each employee's abilities, competencies, and relative merit and worth for the organization. Performance appraisal rates the employees in terms of their performance. Performance appraisals are widely used in the society. Performance appraisal is necessary to measure the performance of the employees and the organization to check the progress towards the desired goals and aims. Performance appraisal takes into account the past performance of the employees and focuses on the improvement of the future performance of the employees. Let's discuss the definition and the objectives of performance appraisal. According to Wendell, French, performance appraisal is the formal systematic assessment of how well employees are performing their jobs in relation to established standards and the communication of that assessment to employees. From the definitions, we can conclude that performance appraisal is a method of evaluating the behavior of employees in the work spot, normally including both the quantitative and the qualitative aspects of job performance. Did you know that in the late 1969s, performance appraisal was used by many companies that experienced cutbacks in government contracts to make layoff and retention decisions? Objectives. Performance appraisal plans are designed to meet the needs of the organization and the individual. It is increasingly viewed as central to good human resource management. Performance appraisal could be taken either for evaluating the performance of employees or for developing them. Appraisal of employees serves several useful purposes. Feedback. It tells him what he can do to improve his present performance and go up the organization ladder. The appraisal thus facilitates self-development. Compensation decisions. It provides inputs to the systems of rewards. The approach to compensation is at the heart of the idea that raises should be given for merit rather than for seniority. Performance development. Performance appraisal can help reveal the causes of good and poor employee performance. Training and development program. By identifying the strengths and the weaknesses of an employee, it serves as a guide for formulating a suitable training and development program to improve his quality of performance in his present work. It can also inform employees about their progress and tell them what skills they need to develop to become eligible for pay rises and or for promotions. Promotion decision. It can serve as a useful basis for job change or promotion. Personal development. Performance appraisal can help reveal the causes of good and poor employee performances. Improve supervision. The existence of a regular appraisal system tends to make the supervisors more observant of their subordinates. This improves supervision. Did you know that in the 1950s in the United States of America, the potential usefulness of appraisal as a tool for motivation and development was gradually recognized? The general model of performance appraisal, as it is known today, began from that time. Performance planning. Planning refers to setting performance expectations and goals for individuals to channel their efforts towards achieving departmental and or organizational objectives. Why do performance plan? Contributes to the success of the department, college or the organization. It helps the employees understand the importance of their job and how it relates to the broader organizational objectives. It builds the partnership between the supervisor and the employee. It sets the stage for success. Identifies what the employee must do to be successful, including the development activities. Identifies what supervisor must do to help employees be successful. Simplifies the performance evaluation by creating a shared understanding of the performance expectations, no surprises. Performance planning cycle. It is through performance planning that we orchestrate the skills, experience and the energy that employees bring to their work. Agency as a mission. As a supervisor, we have certain things that we are accountable for achieving in order to support agency's effort to fulfill its mission. Need for appraisal. The main aim of any appraisal system, many companies call them performance management systems or performance reviews, is to improve the performance of each member of the staff within the company. It is a formal record that provides an opportunity to review past performance and, more importantly, concentrate on plans for future development. Performance appraisal is needed in order to provide information about the performance ranks, basing on which decision regarding salary fixation, confirmation, promotion, transfer and demotion are taken. Provide feedback information about the level of achievement and the behavior of subordinate. Provide information which helps to counsel the subordinate. Provide information to diagnose deficiency in employee regarding skill, knowledge, determine training and development needs. To prevent grievances and indisciplinary activities. talk about the methods of performance appraisal. A number of different performance appraisal methods or techniques are available for evaluating the performance of the employees. Traditional methods. These methods are the old methods of performance appraisal based on personal qualities, knowledge, capacity, judgment, initiative, attitude, loyalty, leadership, etc. The following are traditional methods of performance appraisal. Unstructured method of appraisal. Under this method, the appraiser has to describe his impressions about the employee under appraisal in an unstructured manner. Straight ranking method. In this technique, the evaluator assigns relative ranks to all the employees in the same work unit doing the same job. Paired comparison method. Ranking becomes more reliable and easier under the paired comparison method. This method is an attempt to improve upon the simple ranking method. Man-to-man comparison method. In man comparison method, the performance of an employee is evaluated by obtaining the rating about his performance from the evaluators. Grading method. Under this technique of performance evaluation, certain categories of worth are determined in advance and they are carefully defined. These selected and well-defined categories include grade A for outstanding, grade B for very good, grade C for average, grade D for poor. Graphic rating scale. Perhaps the most commonly used method of performance evaluation is the graphic rating scale. The evaluator is asked to rate employees on the basis of the job-related characteristics and the knowledge of the job. Forced choice method. The primary purpose of the forced choice method is to correct the tendency of a rater to give consistently high or low ratings to all the employees. This method makes use of several sets of paired phrases, two of which may be positive and two negative, and the rate is asked to indicate which of the four phrases is the most and the least descriptive of a particular worker. Checklist. A checklist represents in its simplest form a set of objectives or descriptive statements about the employee and his behavior. The rater checks to indicate if the behavior of an employee is positive or negative to each statement. The performance of an employee is rated on the basis of the number of positive checks. Weighted checklist. The weighted checklist is a list of statements pertaining to the work-related behavior of the employees. Free essay method. Under this method, no quantitative approach is undertaken. It is open-ended appraisal of employees. The evaluator describes in his own words what he perceives about the employee's performance. Critical incidence method. Under this method, the performance of the worker is rated on the basis of certain events that occur during the performance of the job. That is, the evaluation is based on key incidents. Field review method. In this method, a HR specialist interviews the line supervisors to evaluate their respective subordinates. The interviewer prepares in advance the questions to be asked. Confidentiality report. A confidential report by the immediate supervisor is still a major detriment of the subordinate's promotion or transfer. This is a traditional form of appraisal used in most government organizations. Forced distribution method. The primary purpose of the forced choice method is to correct the tendency of a rater to give consistently high or low ratings to all the employees. The forced distribution method operates under the assumption that the employee performance level conforms normal statistical distribution. Modern method. Modern methods are an improvement over the traditional methods. Modern methods are an attempt to remove defects from the old methods. These are discussing as behavioral anchored rating scales or BARs. It is designed to identify critical areas of performance of a job. Under this method, the behaviorally anchored rating scales are outlined to recognize the critical areas of effective and ineffective performance behavior for getting results. Result-oriented appraisal or MBO technique. The result-oriented appraisals are based on the concrete performance targets which are usually established by superiors and subordinates jointly. This procedure is known as management by objectives (MBO). Assessment center method. In this approach, individuals from various departments are brought together to spend 2 or 3 days working on an individual or group assignment similar to the ones they would be handling when promoted. Evaluators observe and rank the performance of all the participants. Human resource accounting method. Human resources are a valuable asset of any organization. This asset can be valued in terms of money. When competent and well-trained employees leave an organization, the human asset is decreased and vice versa. 360-degree appraisal. It is a method of appraisal in which employees receive their performance feedback from their boss, colleagues, customers, peers, and their own subordinates in the organization. Post-appraisal analysis. Performance appraisal systems should be effective as a number of crucial decisions are made on the basis of score or ratings given by the appraiser. All organizations use performance appraisal for purposes such as salary increase, determining the training needs, motivating employees, or establishing a basis for future personal decisions. Appraisal system to be effective should possess the following essential characteristics: reliability and validity, confidence and trust, immediate superior as appraiser, swift and economical, open communication, post-appraisal interview, job relatedness, the problems of performance appraisal. None of the methods for appraising performance is absolutely valid or reliable. Each has its own strengths and weaknesses, in spite of knowing that a completely error-free performance appraisal can only be an idealized model. We can isolate a number of factors that significantly impede objective evaluation. The major problems in performance appraisals are rating biasness. Most appraisal methods involve judgments. The performance appraisal process and techniques rely on the evaluator who has his own personal biasness, prejudices and idiosyncrasies. It would be naive to assume that all evaluators will impartially appraise their subordinates. Opportunity bias. This results when the amount of output is influenced by the factors beyond the control of employees. Some employees have better working conditions, supportive supervisors, more experienced co-workers, and hence their output may be greater than the others working on identical tasks. Group cohesiveness. Cohesive groups with high morale can produce more than less cohesive groups with low morale. Knowledge of predictor bias. A rater's knowledge of the performance of an employee on predictors can influence his appraisal ratings. An employee who topped in the selection list might leave the impression that he is the best among the employees. Now let's explore the process of performance appraisal. Performance appraisal is the process of the management in which many requirements are needed to the management about the employees. Following steps can be followed to analyze the employees' performances. Establishing performance standards. The first step in the process of performance appraisal is the setting up of the standards which will be used to as a base to compare the actual performance of the employees. Communicating the standards. Once set, it is the responsibility of the management to communicate the standards to all the employees of the organization. The employees should be informed and the standards should be clearly explained to them. This will help them to understand their roles and to know what exactly is expected from them. Measuring the actual performance. The most difficult part of the performance appraisal process is measuring the actual performance of the employees, that is the work done by the employees during the specified period of time. It is a continuous process which involves monitoring the performance throughout the year, comparing the actual with the desired performance. The actual performance is compared with the desired or the standard performance. The comparison tells the deviations in the performance of the employees from the standards set. Discussing results. The result of the appraisal is communicated and discussed with the employees on one-to-one basis. The focus of this discussion is one, communication and listening. The results, the problems and the possible solutions are discussed with the aim of problem solving and reaching consensus. The feedback should be given with a positive attitude as this can have an effect on the employee's future performance. Decision making. The last step of the process is to take decisions which can be taken either to improve the performance of the employees, take the required corrective actions or the related HR decisions like rewards, promotions, demotions, transfers, etc. The uses of performance appraisal. Performance appraisal serves two types of the objectives. One is to make the evaluation decisions and other is to provide the need assessment source for the training and development if there is a gap between the actual and the expected performance. In fact, PA data are potentially valuable for use in numerous human resource functional areas. Human resource planning. In assessing a firm's human resources, data must be available that describe the promo ability and the potential of all employees, especially the key executives. Recruitment and selection. Performance evaluation ratings may be helpful in predicting the future performance of job applicants. The training and development. A performance appraisal should point out an employee's specific needs for training and development. By identifying deficiencies that adversely affect performance, human resource and line managers are able to develop T&D programs that permit individuals to build on their strengths and minimize their deficiencies. Career planning and development. Career planning and development may be viewed from either an individual or organizational viewpoint. Compensation programs. Performance appraisal results provide the basis for decisions regarding pay increases. Internal employee relations. Performance appraisal data are also frequently used for decisions in areas of internal employee relations, including motivation, promotion, demotion, termination, layoff, and transfer. Assessment of employee potential. Some organizations attempt to assess employee potential as they appraise the job performance. Now, in the end, let us summarize what we have learned in this lecture. Performance appraisals of employees are necessary to understand each employee's abilities, competencies, and relative merit and worth for the organization. A number of different performance appraisal methods or techniques are available for evaluating the performance of the employees. Human resource accounting deals with cost of and contribution of human resources to the organization. Performance appraisal is the process of the management in which many requirements are needed to management about the employees. Performance appraisal data are also frequently used for decisions in areas of internal employee relations, including motivation, promotion, demotion, termination, layoff, and transfer.